Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's
Mhm.
it's it's another piece of the puzzle. Yeah, because if
Mhm.
you haven't earned the right to vote, but which means to be knowledgeable about society and the way that it works,
Mhm.
then you don't have a right to make a decision about that area. And as I said, you you, you, you give you give somebody something for free. They just with kids, give kids something for free, and everything's for free for kids, right? Because it doesn't cost them anything because they don't buy it, right? The family or the parents buy it for the kids, so everything is essentially free. So um, it doesn't really have objects don't really have much value. Yeah,
Mhm.
experiences have value. Time has value. Said it before.
Value. Mhm.
Time has value. You can always get more money. You can't always make more time. So um,
Mhm.
that it's each week is individual. Each day is extremely unique in its in opportunities that it brings and that it takes away as well. Um, so some of the some things some chances that exist today will not exist tomorrow. A lot of businesses function on that principle, right? It's
Mhm.
first minute, last minute, whatever. Book the holiday.
Mhm.
Limited editions. Um, so a lot of business jobs are designed that way. Limited number of jobs, limited number of positions. Um, do we want, that old question, do we want there to be more jobs available in society? Because then there'll be less competition. What effect is that going to have? That's
Oh.
interesting questions. Yeah, because you create more jobs, it creates more wealth, it creates more employment, but it also, when when everybody gets educated, education loses its value. When everybody gets a certificate, the certificate loses its value. When everybody goes to university, university loses its value. When everybody sleeps with the girl has no value at all, right?
It's like where is it?
Yeah, well,
That balance. Mm.
yeah, it's a great question. Quantity
Mm.
is different from quality. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. When you open something up to everybody, it doesn't always have a positive effect.
Mhm.
Again, it's about value, right? If tickets for Disneyland were free, it really wouldn't be that special.
Mm.
So, and you look, ask any big employer about the problem with everybody going to university is that it's hard to differ, and everyone graduates. Oh, more people need to graduate, so universities lower the standards. Everyone graduates, and it's
Mm.
impossible to tell who's actually good
Mhm.
because the degrees become worthless.
Mm.
Now, this doesn't mean that I want things to be elitist, but it's understanding the more or less contradiction. Like less is more. It has more value. When
Mhm.
um, yeah, when in anything, look, Apple understand that when they release new iPhones, there's always a limited number,
Mhm.
so they can charge a high price because they only release a limited number. So because there's less quantity, they can charge a higher price, and people will pay it because they see it as a status symbol. Basically, it's well branded. And there's another interesting word because a brand was originally a symbol that was burned into animals so that you knew which animals
Oh,
belonged to you.
to you. Mhm.
Branding.
Branding
Branding. So when you
and
select a specific brand, it's because
mhm.
this brand has had such a powerful effect on you. Who owns who, right?
Mhm.
Who owns who? it's not practical. There's a whole lot of practicality in those things, and good brands can produce great products. You know, I think
Right.
Nike trainers are good quality, right? In in
Mm-hmm.
general, it's interesting from a business perspective because it's one of those powerful ways that business influences society, and business is the new religion. So we have to understand that because originally people got their download of data about how to be good and form good habits from going to church once a week. Oh, that culture in many parts of the world is dead. In many parts it's not, but in many parts it is dead. And it's been replaced with the culture of work, which is you get your
Mm-hmm.
habits from your job
Mm-hmm.
rather than from your religion. So
Church.
church, yeah. And if you look back through Western history, you will find quite a lot of philosophers made that connection. That um, the basic principle was that once a week was not enough.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
It had to be more regular in order to affect the human psychological habit. Therefore,
Then Muslim religion is they have to pray 5 times a day.
it's a very, very powerful conditioning and not always a bad thing. Um, not always the bad thing. It's the problem with, in general, families in that religion are stronger because they're more held together around a central element which is unquestionable, which is more powerful than the everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because when everything is okay, everything is nothing, and nothing is all right. Because as human beings, we have to hold on to something. Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter what you do, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where you go, but it does.
It
Doesn't matter what you think,
mm.
but it does. Doesn't matter how you do it, but it does. Yeah.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
We live in a world where things are changing so fast. What people had to pay for in the past, they will not have to pay for in the future. It's changing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing is to get information to people. So if if we can't share, then we don't have anything. So the most important thing is to share. People trade value for value, right? If people find something valuable, they invest time in it. So
Mm-hmm.
I uh, I got an email last week from somebody who read a poetry book that I wrote 10 years ago. No, more than 10 years, like 15 years ago. And and this was somebody in I can't even remember which country they were in. Somebody had given it to somebody who gave it to somebody else who gave it to somebody else, and the person like wrote me an email to say that they had this book from like 10 to 15 years ago and they read it and they liked it. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you never know where the last domino will fall. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. So